Hello, everybody. I hope you all had a blessed and amazing day on today. I hope you all stayed hydrated on today, had plenty fluids, some good water, Gatorade, things with less sugar, that you was able to keep your body refreshed as we had a beautiful day, even though it was warm. Okay, everybody, thank you all for tuning in and being with us on a River Live. As we get ready to go into tonight's teaching, we're going to go right back to the book of Genesis chapter 22, and then also I will read Genesis chapter 26, and we'll keep moving forward from there. So tonight, for the sake of time, let's go ahead. We're going to go right into this teaching. I'm going to begin reading Genesis chapter 22, verses 1 and 2. Then we'll jump over to Genesis chapter 26 and read verse 1 through 4. Now it came to pass after these things that God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here I am. Then he said, Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. Genesis 26, verse 1 and 4. There was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Amalek, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. Then the Lord appeared to him and said, Do not go down to Egypt. Live in the land of which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For to you and your descendants I give all these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father, and I will make your descendants multiply as the stars of heaven. I will give to your descendants all these lands, and in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed. Okay, everybody, so let's roll right on into it. So here we go again. Turn around, it's behind you, and our subtitle, It's Been Waiting on You. Many of you right now, you may be in that place where you possibly could have overshot what the Lord has spoken to you, but the Lord may need for many of you all, or after your obedience, now he just needs for you to turn around so he can truly show you what has truly been going on behind the scenes. Even though you was obedient and God saw your obedience, now he wants to reward you with truly what it is that he truly has for you. So let's go into it. So the Lord told Abraham to offer up Isaac. When we go back to Genesis chapter 22, we see the Lord in verse 2. We see how the Lord told Abraham, offer up your son. And let's point this out. The Lord told Abraham, because Abraham had two sons at the time. He had Ishmael, who was the oldest son, but then he also had Isaac. But look at how clever and how wise the Lord is. He told Abraham, offer up your only son, meaning or naming Isaac. He wanted to go ahead and beat Abraham to the punch. He wanted to go ahead and let Abraham know, Abraham, don't even think about trying to go get Ishmael, because I want Isaac. He is the one who I told you would be the promise, or the promise was going to come through, and that's the one that I want you to use right now. So don't think about trying to get the substitute and go and get Isaac. See, for many of you all right now, you possibly went and got, instead of giving God your very best, you gave what you thought was your best. Like a Ishmael, when God wanted the true best that you have. That's why he asked and told Abraham, namely your son Isaac. God did not call Isaac's name out for nothing. He called Isaac's name out with reverence so Abraham would know, God, you want my very best. He didn't want Ishmael because not that Ishmael was bad, but because God wanted that thing that was going to truly have weight with it, that was going to have significance with it, that was going to be Abraham's very best. And see, for somebody on tonight, whatever it is that the Lord has either told you to do or he wanted you to give, he wanted to be from your very best. Why? Because see, when you feel that thing, just like how Abraham had to feel it too, once he felt it, now Abraham had to also shift past what he felt. And so we'll get ready to touch on that here in just a few moments. But please remember, the Lord told Abraham to offer up Isaac. And watch this. Not only when he asked or told Abraham to offer up Isaac, it was not going to just be something bland. Nah, this thing was about to be bigger, and this thing was about to carry some weight with it. This thing was about to really cause Abraham's life to shift off into what God already had planned. Because when you get at the end of Genesis chapter 22, now we can see that now the Lord said, now I will multiply your descendants as the stars of heaven. Meaning now the Lord said, basically, I needed to see your obedience, Abraham. I needed to see how far you was willing to go. And because you was willing to go all the way, you feared me enough, you loved me enough to give me your very best. Now I'm going to release everything that what I already promised to you. No more holding back now, Abraham. I'm about to open up the windows of heaven. I'm about to allow everything to come your way. Every blessing that felt like it was delayed, I'm about to release it. Everything that seemed like wasn't happening in your life, I'm about to let it take place. Come on, somebody. What is it? Are you one offering or one sacrifice away from the Lord, seeing your faith, seeing your obedience? And now that's going to cause the Lord to really say, okay, now I see that you truly believe in me, that you really believe that what the promise that I spoke over your life. Are you one offering? Are you one sacrifice away from truly the Lord releasing everything to you he already promised to you? So here we go. Also, when we continue to look at this, God truly did not want Isaac. What he wanted Abraham's obedience. And you got to see this. The Lord truly didn't want Isaac. He only used Isaac, if you will, as bait to get Abraham in position so he could truly see Abraham's true heart posture, his true intent of his heart. Will Abraham obey? Will Abraham be obedient to follow me, to follow after my word? And because Abraham was able to do it, now we can see that the Lord was able to now truly see the real essence of who Abraham truly was. And watch this. And God got it. He was able to get it out of Abraham because he saw Abraham's heart posture of obedience to obey his word. When you obey, remember and turn around, you will see the true offering caught and waiting right there for you. Somebody, whatever it is that the Lord has been asking for you to do, once you move in obedience, now your next step is going to be for you to turn around, because all God was looking for to see, will you do what he asked you to do? And once you prove that you was willing to do it, now when you turn around, then you're going to see truly what God already had waiting there for you. But he had to see your obedience first. Then once you turn around, because you're like, God, you told me to come over here. Just like Abraham. He was getting ready to sacrifice Isaac. But then the angel of the Lord spoke and told him, Abraham, see that don't lay a hand on the lad. So Abraham getting ready to go forth and do this thing, but now God stops him. Then now Abraham turns around because God saw his obedience. He saw Abraham's heart that he was going to do this thing. Now when Abraham turned around, he see what what the Lord already had prepared for him that God truly wanted. He didn't want Isaac. He wanted Abraham's obedience to see this, so that way he will be able to move forward in what God have need for him. So let's go just a little bit deeper right there in that spot right there. Let's see if we can park here just for the time that we have left. So God didn't ask Abraham to do something strange or to do something he wasn't already accustomed of doing. Watch this. When the Lord told Abraham, take your son, your only son, Isaac, and offer him up as a burnt sacrifice, the Lord didn't tell Abraham to do anything that he was not already familiar with doing or accustomed to do. Now, yes, Abraham was used to offering up animals and not humans. That was not Abraham. But see, he already knew how to do what it was that God was asking him to do. So here we go. Let's stick to these notes. So Abraham knew how, watch this. Abraham already knew how to build a fire. He already knew how to build or make the altar. He already knew how to praise and worship God while he was sacrificing or giving up whatever the offering was. He already had the praise and worship. He had the altar already made. He knew how to do the fire. He knew how to build and create everything that was needed. He also knew how to prepare the sacrifice, as well as him seeing. He was already accustomed to even seeing, knowing how to prepare the animals, and also being used to seeing animal blood. So now here's my point tonight. Even though Abraham, he was accustomed of giving sacrifices to the Lord, and the Lord asked him to give up his son Isaac. Here's my example here. Suppose somebody, used to live in California, or you used to live in or you say you was a child who grew up in the military with your family. You lived in New York, you lived in California, you lived in Texas, you lived in Oklahoma, you lived in all those different places. Now you ended up here in, let's say, Hinesville, and now as you're living here in Hinesville, you're going on about your life. All is well, everything is moving well, but then all of a sudden the Lord show up one day and place on your heart and ask you to move to Savannah. See how that thing was? The Lord didn't ask Abraham to do something that he was not already accustomed of knowing what to do. And see, for somebody on tonight, whatever it is that the Lord is asking of you, you already show signs of already knowing how that thing need to roll. Because you already, he's keeping it in the realm of what you are already used to or accustomed of doing. And see, now Abraham, as he's preparing to get ready to go forth and do this, somebody on tonight, whatever it is that he's already asking of you to do, you already know what to do because you've already done it. But see, the thing is, even though, let's go back to the example, you lived in all those different places. You know about moving. Now, just because you're here in Hinesville and God asks you to move to Savannah, watch this. Here's the thing. Savannah is not far off, but it's out of this place. And see, now you're having to still uproot and move to Savannah, even though you know, man, your job may be here in Hinesville, everything XYZ, everything else may be here in Hinesville, but God is telling you, I need you to move to Savannah. Why is he asking you to do that? Just like he did Abraham. Abraham, do this, offer up Isaac. But what the Lord had on the backside, when Abraham turned around, he had something else for him. And see, could it be that whatever it is that the Lord is asking of many of you to do right now is because he only needs to see your act of obedience, your act of faith. And when you do this, now he's going to also allow you to see truly the other thing that he also have because of your obedience. So watch it. Let's go just a little deeper here. So after God asked Abraham to perform what he already knew how to do, he did this so Abraham would not talk his way out of doing it because of fear. See, the Lord was real wise in how he was able to do this, to get this over to Abraham. He didn't ask Abraham to do anything outside of what he was accustomed of doing. And just like many of us on today, the Lord may have asked you to do something, and if you really look at it, he went right to an area that you're accustomed of doing already. You've already used to doing that. You did it before. But now the thing is, it's that timing. It's the place. It could very well be what else is there that's in that timing that he needs for you to get ready to give back to him. And so now as Abraham was able to do this, we see Abraham had to also take another shift here. And all I could write down in my notes was all the time that Abraham all the time that Abraham saw an animal or a sacrifice and not Isaac, even though Isaac was there on the altar. I'm gonna say that again. I'm gonna say it for you again. As soon as he got Isaac, he bound Isaac and he laid Isaac on that altar. He didn't see Isaac anymore. What Abraham saw, he saw the sacrifice. Because see, if he would have saw Isaac, then it would have pulled his emotions in this thing, and now that would have, so Abraham had to go past all of that. He had to finally look past Isaac. He had to look past everything and finally only see and remember what God told him to do. Offer up your only son, Isaac. That's why when we see the scripture lets us see that the angel of the Lord had to come and he had to call out to Abraham. Why? Because Abraham was so serious that he meant it. Abraham was getting ready to go through with it. He no longer saw Isaac. He saw the sacrifice. And he knew that, I believe when you go to the book of Genesis, not Genesis, but Galatians, it talks about how Abraham had faith enough to believe that the Lord could still raise Isaac back up, even though after he did what he had to do. And see, for somebody on tonight, as we continue to look at this, we can truly see that Abraham, his mind had to shift. He had to no longer be like, man, what am I losing here? Or, man, this is my only son. No, he had to push past all of those things, that what he felt, all the things that he was accustomed, everything that he was used to, he had to now see it for how God was able to see it. What is it that the Lord asked for Abraham to do? That's why Abraham was going to do it, because he saw and because he also remembered the sacrifice that he made unto the Lord. See, all those times, every time that Abraham made a sacrifice to God, all that did was just revert right back to when he had Isaac on that altar. He remembered, he saw how to do it, he remembered how to do everything Abraham remembered. He did it to a T. Somebody on tonight, what is that great thing that the Lord is asking of you to do in this season? For whoever this word is for on tonight. So there was no difference here. Abraham was about to give God his best. Somebody like Abraham, see it for what it is. Obedience and also sacrifice. See it for what it is. Whatever it is that the Lord is asking of you, that's what he's asking. Now he's looking to see, can you obey? Will you obey? And also sacrifice to get that what I'm asking from you. Can you give it back to him? And that's what we see when we talk about the book of Genesis chapter 26, when we see what Abraham had to go through. So I say again, God isn't trying to harm you. He wants someone who will love him, fear him, and also obey him. Here's how we know God wasn't trying to hurt Abraham or Isaac, because God already provided for himself the sacrifice, which was the ram that was in the bush. God wasn't trying to hurt Isaac. He wasn't trying to hurt Abraham. He just needed to see. And as the scripture lets us know how God was thinking, now we see why the Lord said, now I know, Abraham, that you fear me. So God wasn't trying to hurt him, nor Isaac. He already provided for himself the sacrifice. I just need to see, will you go through with this thing for me? I just need to see, will you go all the way? I just need to see, can I trust you? Can we say it that way? God was just looking to see, I ain't going to take Isaac from you, but I just need to know, can I trust you? Because see, Isaac is just only one spoke in the wheel. But when you flip and you go to the end of chapter 22, now the Lord said, now I'm going to release, or now I'm going to multiply. Your descendants will be like the stars in the heavens. See, God is looking at now, Abraham, because you obeyed me, because you fear me, now everything that seemed like was it what I promised you, I'm about to now fulfill this thing. I'm about to open up the windows. I'm about to open up the floodgates. I'm about to allow this thing to happen. And now everything that what you wanted is coming through Isaac. It's coming. It's here. No more waiting. It's here. Now I'm about to multiply this thing. Matter of fact, let's read that. And this is in Genesis chapter 22, verse 22 and 15. Then the angel of the Lord called to Abram a second time out of heaven and said, by myself I have sworn, says the Lord, because you have done this thing and have not withheld your son, your only son. Blessing, I will bless you, and multiplying, I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heavens and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies. So the Lord it was all because of Abraham's one act of faith and obedience. And watch this, even though Abraham had that one move of faith and obedience, it still carried weight with it. It still carried pressure with it. You think Abraham didn't feel the weight of it? You think he didn't feel the pressure of that thing? But Abraham knew he had to go ahead, and now he had to shift. And he had to go ahead and shift to that where now instead of seeing Isaac as his son, he had to see Isaac as a sacrifice, and also know by faith in the book of Galatians, the Lord take him, he can raise him back up. See, God, it was almost, if you will, subtraction to addition. See, the Lord wanted to see, Abraham, can you give up your only son Isaac so I can multiply you? See, just give me that one. Show me, give me your act of obedience concerning that your one Isaac, and now instead of when you do this, I'm going to hit the multiplier. Your descendants are going to be as numerous. See, you was willing to give up that one, and because you was willing to give up that one, now I'm about to give you this thing about to multiply like the stars or the sand of the seashore. Because you was willing to give up that one. Come on. Can you give up that one? That one thing that the Lord was asking. And see, he's not going to take it from you. What he's looking to see, do you have enough of faith, fear of him, and also obedience to trust and believe him? And when he see that you can and you will do it, watch this. He's about to multiply that thing. Didn't he do it for Abraham? We almost done. So here's how we know God wasn't trying to hurt Abraham or Isaac, because God already provided for himself the sacrifice, which was the ram. Abraham's job, Isaac's job, and also our job is to provide obedience and let God provide the sacrifice, what he wanted. He need us to provide the obedience. When we provide the obedience, he's going to provide whatever that sacrifice is. He just need to see, can you obey? God didn't want Isaac to be a sacrifice. He wanted Isaac because he would sacrifice through obedience to him. God didn't want to take that out of the realm. There's one thing, I forgot what you call them. Herpetologists, I believe, they deal with snakes or reptiles. When I was working on one of the military bases, and I believe they were saying that now a lot of rattlesnakes, back in the day, years ago, a lot of rattlesnakes will rattle. But they said now when they rattle, said that a lot of people will get afraid of them, and they will go and they will kill the one that they heard. So now it's like throughout time, a lot of rattlesnakes, they adopted that, and a lot of them aren't rattling anymore. A lot of them aren't rattling anymore. So now it's almost like that's one of their defense. Don't rattle so soon. Because back in the day when they used to rattle a lot, people would hear them because they know they were deadly, and they would kill them, wipe them out. So now, being that the ones that would rattle, you wipe those one out. So now the only ones you got left are the ones who don't want to rattle so soon. So now you gotta. It's almost like they having to, if you will, have them in protective So now they can get back in balance. So now you can get it to where now they can start making it to where they would want to rattle to send that warning signal out versus now just having no ones just to lay there and feel you getting close and won't say nothing. Whew. So we can also see this right here. The Lord didn't want Isaac. He wanted Isaac because Isaac would be that one who was sacrificed to him through his obedience. That's why the Lord didn't want to take Isaac. That's why he didn't really want Isaac. See, Isaac was going to believe me. Isaac was going to obey me. So I don't want to take him out. So I'm going to keep him. Because see, he down the road, he can be a template or a building block from I'm coming through his father. Now I'm coming through him. And see, now Isaac is going to be able to follow that footsteps of faith, like Romans 4 and 12 talks about. Isaac was going to have to, he was following that footsteps of faith from his father Abraham. He was going to still pick it up so that it could keep flowing. So God wasn't going to take that one out. He wanted Isaac to stay there because he knew he was going to be able to use Isaac later. Isaac was used for his obedience as a template to build a nation of people who will one day fear, love, and obey God. God gave Abraham the ram to sacrifice. And we can also see that when you go back to Genesis chapter 15, Abraham offered up animals to the Lord, and he offered them up in a specific way how the Lord wanted them to be offered. And also you can see, just like in Genesis with Noah, when Noah was on the ark, he had clean animals and he also had unclean animals. So we can understand that why would he have clean and unclean? Could it very well be that when the Lord already knew when Noah got settled, that so he would be able to have animals already to even offer back up to him, even as it could even be to when they was on the ark, that he had a place to where he could offer up any animals there. So the animals was there. You don't see anything with people. People were there on the ark. But see, that's the difference. God didn't want people. He just wants your obedience. Can you praise me? Can you worship me? Can you obey me? That's what the Lord was looking for. That's what he wanted. And also in Genesis chapter 26, the time came for God to truly see would Isaac obey him. All this time, now we finally get to Genesis 26. Now, it's Isaac's time. Will he obey God? Now, his father Abraham is gone now. Now, God is looking to see. Isaac, you went through all what you went through. Now I'm getting ready to come to you. It's your time. Now, watch this. When you also get in Genesis chapter 26, watch this. It says that there was a great famine also in the land. But here we go again. See, the Lord already saw that because he didn't tell Abraham not to leave and go to Egypt. God said he's not going to make that. He was not going to miss that one again. So he specifically told Isaac, stay here. Don't go to Egypt. Then when you finally read and you look down, now the Lord began to read and now the Lord began to tell Isaac key things that what he was getting ready to do. After he told him, then the Lord appeared to him and said, do not go down to Egypt, but live in the land of which I shall tell you. Dwell in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For to you and your descendants I will give all these lands, and I will perform the oath which I swore to Abraham your father, and I will make your descendants multiply the stars of heaven, and I will give to your descendants all these lands, and in your seed all the nation of the earth shall be blessed. Is not the Lord awesome? Now was Isaac's time. But Isaac had to finally obey the voice of the Lord, just like his father Abraham. See, God was building up obedience through Abraham, faith and obedience. Now that seed got planted, and now it's coming through Isaac. Now it's up to Isaac to now obey the voice of the Lord, obey him, walk in that level of obedience. And watch this. Just like how Abraham received the multiplier, when God spoke to him, Isaac also received the multiplier because of his act of faith and obedience. To the point to where now when you also get in Genesis 26, he said that Isaac ended up becoming prosperous. He went from prosperous to prospering. I believe there's 3 different prospers that Isaac went through. All because his act of faith and obedience. Okay, everybody, my time is up on tonight. Thank you all for tuning in, joining us on tonight. As we rounding this part up of Genesis chapter 22, dealing with Abraham and Isaac, Abraham's act of faith and obedience. So tonight, if you will, whatever the Lord has been asking of you to do, do it. I know some of you probably saying that it's in my notes and I didn't get to it on tonight, but just like Isaac had to feel the pressure of that thing too. Isaac was in a famine. Isaac saw another land that he could have gone to, but Isaac had to make that conscious decision. Do I obey the voice of the Lord and stay here like he told me? Or do I still go over to Egypt and disobey? Like Naomi and her husband. Come on, somebody. What is it that God is asking of you to do in this hour, in this season? And I understand, I know this word may not be for a whole lot of you on tonight. And see, for those of you, whoever this word is for, I'm just a messenger. Just tell you, hey, whatever God is asking of you to do that. Because when you walk in a level of obedience, God gonna bless you. And then also, he have others who's connected to you that because of your act of obedience and faith, they're going to be blessed as well. So don't hold other people up because of your lack of obedience. Till we do this again, everybody, God bless you all. We love you. You all enjoy the rest of this evening. And for those of you who don't have a church home, you can join us Sunday immediately at 10 o'clock a.m. We have worship and word, also intercessory prayer at 9:30. But just come on and join us by way of online, or if you decide you want to be, it is different being in person. It is different because that praise and worship as it's going forth. Hey, a praise and worship team as they're going forth, giving God true worship and praise. Yes, it's different when you live and in person. So if you don't have a church home and you would like to join us, come on and be with us. Get that good worship and word. Till we do this again, we love you all. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have sweet sleep, sweet dreams. In Jesus' name, enjoy the rest of your evening.